Mic check 1 2 1 2. Anybody hear me? That is Wi-Fi. Let's see. Recording. Okay, it's all the way up. Can you all hear me? Loud and clear. Alright, well, my food has arrived, and we'll be, as the countdown continues, we'll be streaming. I'm gonna go ahead and eat, and we'll be streaming as soon as possible. At this time, I'm gonna be leaving a little chat thing going on. Hang on. If you have any written stories you want me to narrate, send them to the evil.outcast84 at Gmail, or I'm gonna go ahead and pin this. So if any of you have any written stories you want narrated, yours truly, go ahead and email them to me. For right now, just sit back, relax, have a taco, and be patient with me while I go ahead and munch some down. Man, you know what? Screw the countdown, because this is taking too long. But yeah, hello everyone. Evil Outcast here, welcoming you to part 2 of the Halloween stream of Stories After Dark, the show where I narrate some of your favorite stories from classic creepypastas or new creepypastas with permission, or some of your favorite classics from Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley, Bram Stoker, and the like. And since it's like 5 minutes, only got 5 minutes left. Happy Halloween, everyone! I hope you had a great Halloween, and hope y'all stay safe out there. Saved. Saved. But yeah, thank you all for coming out. Let's take a look at the chat and see who's here. We got the amazing What the Fuck. Welcome. I thought I told you to stop stealing all them left socks. We have Outrun Stepler. Outrun Stepler. Welcome. Welcome. We have Breaker 19, aka Lewis Witt. Welcome. What's up? And we have Midnight. How do I pronounce it? Midnight Gotcha 1014. What's up? Welcome. And we have Reaper's Horror. Happy Halloween, my bro. And we have Immunity Zero. I wouldn't do anything, he probably popped out. What's up? But thank you for the subscribe. I could have swore he subscribed to me a long time ago, but YouTube and this thing. We have Yazid Delgado. This ain't Belle Delphine. Who is Belle Delphine? Okay, looks like we got a weirdo in our chat. Speaking of weirdos, we have the return of Darkest Side TV. What's up, my boy? Where you been? Why you no call? Why you no DM? You know me and Lily have been worried about you. I thought you leave us hanging, man. But nah, just kidding. Glad you could be here. There's a reason to my madness tonight. And why there's a part 2. Oh my god, it's buffering. Belle Delphine is that one chick. Oh, yeah. Well, this ain't Belle Delphine. What the hell did you come over here? Anyways. I can understand life was wild, but you could at least give me a call, man. Oh, amazing. What the fuck's saying? EO, sorry I missed your DZ show last night. Fell asleep. Dude, I was not on DZ. I was on my own personal channel. There's a difference. I'm going to be on DZ tomorrow. But yeah, I see that everybody came from Lily C Nation's live stream, and everybody was having fun at her expense, scaring her half to death. Midnight Gotcha says, I came from Lily's night stream. I'm kind of on nice. Well, welcome to my channel. I hope you find that I got some good content posted in my channel. If you want to check it out, feel free. Oh. Well, you're on DZ tonight for you. Oh, I actually, because I'm over here by myself and not with Philia and Creepy Clown Girl. That's cool. Anime! What's up? Yeah. Only reason I scream her name on in chat is because whenever she sees me in chat, she's always like, Outcast! So that's kind of our thing now. And Lily said she was going to be here as well. Holy shit. That was loud. I probably need to go over my OBS because I just got a notification on my OBS and it's not apparent apparently, but it's either a new subscriber or something like that. But whoever subscribed to me, thank you. Yeah, I just got a message from Reaper's Horror saying that he might have a story for me. Well, go ahead and send it. Now, last night on Stories After Dark Halloween Edition, I was reading a book from someone Thomas, and I was struggling. Like, this is like hard reading, like H.P. Lovecraft hard reading. That and I got a little tired, so that kind of played into a factor because not only because the kids were out of school and everything. I mean, Lily! Hey girl, what's up? I'm glad you came. Yay. By the way, your live stream was hilarious and top notch. I really loved it. I think you, me, Darkside, if he does pull his disappearing act again, should do like a group chat and live stream and banter a little bit. Sure, go ahead. But yeah, Darkseid, don't be disappearing on us no more. We missed you. We left you. We still need a collab, man. When we gonna do that collab? I'm gonna go ahead and bust out my burger. And new subscriber is Midnight. Aw, thank you, Midnight, for subscribing to me. That's really awesome. My notifications are not popping up, but for some reason, the notifications on my OBS is popping up. Because I don't know how to... Because I have regular OBS and not Streamlabs. So, I'm having to, like, look back at my, look back at my notifications and see what it is. And it's like, oh, hey, cool. Lily, no spider snake, okay? Remember when I told you, no butt stuff. That's something we agreed on a few moments ago. In the butt and out of the butt. What in the butt? I said what in the butt. I said what in the butt. I can't laugh too loud because people are trying to sleep. Because we had we walked all over the goddamn neighborhood trick or treating. It was just me, my son, his mother, her husband, and their kid, which is my nephew. And before anybody finds that weird, we go by Mexican rules where everybody's our nephew or niece or everybody's our cousin. That's blood related. But we went trick or treating. Did our thing. We went trick or treating. Everybody was passing out candy, like normal. Some of them, but they had like hand sanitizer. But we did pass by a couple of houses where they did a thing where they have like this tube. That's like that's like a angled, put up at an angle, and they just drop the candy into the tube and into the kids' candy sacks or whatever. That was pretty cool. I mean, that's considered social distancing right there. And mind you, the baby is like 4 months old now. Well, almost 4 months old, and this is like his first year trick or treating. This is like his first Halloween. But kids had fun. Everybody had fun. The mother was hoping the daughter would come with us, but her excuse was she didn't like the costume that she was wearing or whatever. The thing is, we didn't have it. We don't. Okay. The thing is, she said she was ashamed because it wasn't this fancy schmancy or a built costume. It was like everything was like put together, like jean shorts and purple shirt and everything. Because we were on a budget this year because of COVID-19 and everything, because of the Rona. But 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 the original thing was that we're gonna go as Little Mermaid characters. The daughter was gonna be Ariel. My son was gonna be Flounder, and the baby was gonna be Sebastian. Yeah, Midnight. You'll have to get used to Amazing What the Fuck's logic because he is pretty much random. But she didn't wind up going, and it was just me. Well, I already told you lined them, and is that a fucking roach on the TV? Probably is. So I'm gonna kill it later. And here's somebody new to the channel, Lakia Hoyt. What's up? Welcome, welcome. I don't think I've seen you in before. But I mean, it was a fun time. What did you guys do for your Halloween this year? I know Lily had like a big Halloween party at her house with her, the kids, and everything. I would have loved to join her there, but we live in different states. It is what it is. Mm. I probably didn't do this, but for those of you watching this, go ahead and share this. Hit the like button and share this with everybody you know, because I want to get as much people as possible. I love doing random streams, and I love doing random random readings for you. Reaper did absolutely nothing. Aw, I'm sorry, Reaper. Oh, maybe it's... God damn it, what the fuck? What did I tell you about... What did I tell you about them squirrels? Oh, I hover over them and it says chipmunk, but still, what did I tell you about them goddamn squirrels? Oh, you were at Luna's party, midnight? I bet it was, fun. Hey, we have Absurd Horror. What's up? Uh-oh. The fuck? Okay, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, this is like absolutely weird because this is absolutely weird because I just saw my YouTube studio and it was doing the whole circle ring of death or whatever, and I keep thinking it's what's it call it buffering or whatever or lagging. And now it's saying no data. Like, it's not picking up my OBS, so I think something's wrong. What the hell is going on? This is gonna be a problem because if it's my OBS or if it's YouTube doing its shit again, then this is gonna be disconcerting because, like I said, I've been trying to get the stream up during the Lily stream for God knows how long, and Lily, boop, I gave you a better boop, and what the fuck? No tocas. Nobody boops my friends but me. But hopefully this will still stream while I narrate. Okay, this is a written story by Reaper's Horror. And there goes the ring. I mean, what the hell? I did the auto configuration thing. But yeah, this story by Reaper's Horror. And this story is called Exploding Milk. No, only I boop my friends. You better stop it, or I'll put you in bad dog jail. Oh, I see. Exploding Milk. At the junior high school I attended, there was the option of buying the school lunch, which included milk. Students could choose between white milk and chocolate milk. Both were 1%. Oh my god. Man, these technical errors are gonna be the death of me right now. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, at the junior high school I attended, there was the option of buying the school lunch, which included milk. Students could choose between white milk and chocolate milk. Both were 1% and were stored at near freezing temperatures. The milk was sealed in small plastic bags and came with a yellow straw, with a sharp point at the one end. In order to drink the milk, you had to pierce the bag with the pointed end of the straw while covering the while covering the top of the straw with your thumb. Failure to do so resulted with milk shooting out the top of the straw, getting everywhere. I had a friend who would stash his milk in his book bag and drink it in study hall later. Taking food out of the cafeteria was against the rules. So eating and drinking in the classroom. So was fuck. Taking food out of the cafeteria was against the rules. So was eating and drinking in the classroom. He also kept some in his locker. Unfortunately, he would forget it, sometimes for a period of weeks. It is important to note that he always chose the chocolate milk. By observation, I noticed that the bags would eventually expand. The cause of this is that The cause of this was that over time the milk would spoil. During the spoiling process, carbon dioxide is released. Because the gases have nowhere to go, the bag would expand. Eventually, it let it let alone the bag. Eventually, it let alone would the bag would explode, thus allowing the gases to escape. The reason the reason we only use chocolate milk was because the chocolate particles would separate from the milk and reform in a powder-like state. That way, we could tell how old the bag is. The older the the older the milk, the more powder there was sitting at the bottom of the bag. Seeing the inflated bag and knowing the eventual effects, I couldn't help but get an idea over the next few weeks. My friends would, my friends and I would each purchase regular lunch with the chocolate milk. I found an unused locker. I found an unused locker with the bolts on the lock missing a few weeks ago. Before not, before not too far from my own locker. How convenient. We then stored the milk in the locker, one on top of the other. A couple of weeks went by without incident. By the third or fourth week, we were no longer adding new bags. All we could do was wait, and then it happened. Here is an explanation on how events most likely took place. First, the bottom bags burst, causing a chain reaction. The very bottom ones blew first. The ones in the middle were forced down by the ones on top. The combination force from the weight of the top ones and and the jolt from the petard one petard and the jolt from the petard one and the jolt from the petard from the bags below caused them to also rupture. Neither of us saw the initial event, but I'm sure that most of the students and faculty saw the cleanup effort. Janitors were running back and forth with mops, trash cans, and sawdust, desperately trying to pull the unexploded bags out of the locker without causing them to burst. They failed. Milk bags were strewn everywhere. A thick yellowish-brown liquid clung to the floor. One of the bags blew up right in the janitor's face. It was a scene of complete, utter chaos. Needless to say, it smelled horrible. The smell was made even worse by the fact that there was no air conditioning in the building. It wasn't until sometime when we were in high school that air conditioning was installed. Later that day, the principal came on over the intercom and demanded that anyone who knew the identity of the pranksters or had information that could lead to those involved to come forward immediately. No one came forward, and no one got caught. Huh. Wow. Wow. I knew you were turning into a funny motherfucker, but damn, dude, that was some. Aw, Lily. Huggles. All the huggles. Petard means small explosion. Okay. Because I looked at that and was like, that looks similarly close to. Yeah, never mind. But I'm glad that everybody got a laugh out of that. And I pretty much saw that everybody else is leaving, and I was like, oh my god, he's talking about chocolate, but we're out of here. Oh boy. But yeah, I hope I'm entertaining you enough. Are you not entertained? No, I'm just kidding. Of course you're entertained. But yeah, I'm glad I can be able to entertain you and keep y'all happy. Because it's Saturday. Well, because it's now Sunday. And you ain't got no job. And you ain't got shit to do. But yeah. Yeah, kudos to Reaper for that hilarious story. Even though I kind of made it sound like it was scary. Okay, I'm looking at my OBS and it looks like everything's back to normal. After its little spaz out. So, thanks again for that riveting and courageous tale of original prankster heritage. Yeah, I never got the glory of doing any pranks or anything like that. Mainly because I had a psycho religious mother who pretty much, how should I say, not let me do the things I do because she pretty much put the fear of God in me and pretty much use anything that's not bolted down to go up against my body. Story of my life. And child abuse is not funny, no matter how much you picture it. But I will ask, did you ever get in trouble for that shit, Reaper? Like years later, I mean. Has any Midnight ask, has anybody heard the story of the Russian sleep experiment? Yes, I actually have. In fact, I actually recorded that story for Gadget G Radio because they were doing a special Halloween playlist on their podcast. Oh my god. What the hell is going on? Okay. I thought we were having a smooth connection, but apparently not. But, But yes, I've recorded recorded it for Gadget G Radio, a podcast where they have a showcase called Shadow Whispers. Is where Shadow Whispers is where different narrators of the horror genre come. I swear to God, OBS is gonna be the death of me. Okay, as I was saying, I did read that story for Gadget G Radio for collab. Okay, because my OBS is spazzing out like crazy. I don't know what it is, but I'll check on it later. But that's another story I would love to narrate for all of you. I know it's not a request, but I'll take it as it is. Oh yeah, Creepypasta Wikia. But yeah, Hero Skew, what's up? Aw, you just came by and say hi. Well, thank you for coming by. Wish you could stay here. That's how. Where'd you hear the story from, Midnight? Well, I'm thinking about putting that audio onto my channel someday. But I would love to narrate it for you, if that's okay with y'all. Just hanging around at a party. Well, you don't have to hang out here, Hero. I mean, you can go party, have fun with your friends. You're not obligated to stay. Trust me. By the end of the day, if you leave my stream to go do something else, it would not hurt me. But at the end of the day, as long as we can get together in weekly server, and just talk loud like we always do, talk about memes and shit, we cool, okay? Reaper, I'm asking if everybody can still hear me and still see the screen, if it's okay, because, yeah, like I said, my OBS is acting up, or it's YouTube pulling its shit, or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna do my take on this story, the Russian sleep experiment. But I'm gonna go ahead and put my pop filter in front of my mic, so Make it look professional. Okay. Russian researchers. Bleh. I'm already fucking up. Well, you are the real one, man. I really appreciate you. Okay. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they had only microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, running water and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained, having been promised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their pasts. And the general tone of their conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4th day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were. It started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other and began alternately whispering into the microphones in one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity, with them. At first, the researchers suspected this was an effort to turn. At first, the researchers suspected this was an effort on the gas itself. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly, yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers posted that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behavior is how the other captives reacted to it, or rather, didn't react to it. They continued whispering into the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The 2 non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped. So did the whispering into the microphones. Lucid Lupus, what's up? Welcome to the stream. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working. Since they thought it impossible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside, the oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives they were afraid were either dead or vegetables. They announced, We are about to open the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom. To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm response. We no longer want to be free. Aw, thank you, hero. You're my hero. The debate broke out amongst the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercoms, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed with a stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of their loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was open, and soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever. And so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them in life. The food rations past day 5 have not been so much as touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subjects' thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate. On the floor. Precisely how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth, as the researchers initially thought. Close examination of the position and angles of the wounds indicated that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted. The abdominal organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects had been removed, while the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place. The skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the rib cage, and the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that what they were digesting was their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still many refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternately begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on, lest they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out. Another one was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subjects' teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. In the struggle, one of the living subjects had his spleen ruptured, and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of a morphine derivative and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one doctor. When heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out to the point there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach and just repeating the words "more" over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving 3 subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility. The 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begged for the gas, demanded to be kept awake. The most injured of the 3 was taken to the only surgical operating room that facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative that they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist. Even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier holding that wrist as well. It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under. And the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. The autopsy of the test subject that died on the operating table was found. It was found that his blood had tripled the normal level of oxygen. His muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he had broken 9 bones in his struggle to not be subdued. Most of them were from the force his own muscles had exerted on them. The second survivor had been the first of the group of 5, to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed. He was unable to beg or object to surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when someone suggested reluctantly that they try the surgery without the anesthetic, and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon stated repeatedly that it should be medically possible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began wheezing loudly and attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be something of drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting. The other two test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well. Although they had to be injected with the paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared the system of their abnormally short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the statement of the gas. Researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given. I must remain awake. Aww. Okay, Midnight. Well, you go ahead and get some rest. Thank you for coming over. I hope you enjoyed. All three subjects' restraints were reinforced, and they were placed back into the chamber, awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing their surviving subjects. The commanding officer, an ex-KGB, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected, but were overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber, yeah, I understand. Well, aww. Okay, Lily. Well, you go ahead and get some sleep too, okay, sweetie? I mean, buddy. Damn it. Alright. Sweet dreams. Thank you for coming. I'll just go ahead and finish this out. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all three stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going to go back on the gas. It was obvious at this point all three were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. Oh, virtual party, nice. Fuck, I lost my place. Oh yeah, here we go. It was obvious that at this point all three were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was Okay, that was fucking weird. Okay, that was weird because I just briefly lost internet for a little while. Sorry about that. I'm going to start from here. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he was repeatedly suffering brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on paper scrolling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut. At the same moment, his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed of that of deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time as his heart simultaneously stopped. Only one remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed his brainwaves showed the same flat lines as one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal. The commander gave the order to seal. Hang on. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as three researchers. One of the named three immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes, then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to the bed as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you, he screamed at the man strapped to the table. He demanded, Who are you? I must know. The subject smiled. Have you forgotten so easily? The subject asked. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free. At every moment of your deepest animal mind, we are what you hide from under your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralyze when you go into the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread. The researcher paused, then aimed at the test subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out. So nearly free. Aside from hiccups, that was my take on the Russian sleep experiment. Let's see who's still in the chat. I saw that Hero Skew is here. Rupert's Horror still here. And Lily's gonna fall asleep to awesomeness. Aww. Blue hearts to you. Yeah, I see amazing. What the fuck? Anything is a. Oh my god, what the fuck? I hope you guys enjoyed that. despite the technical difficulties and everything. Maybe it was the Wi-Fi that was maybe it was my modem that was acting up, buffering. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah, I thought so. It keeps. I know it's buffering. I know it's my OBS, but Haley Spricaria. Man, if this keeps up, I'm probably gonna have to cut this short because I promised y'all stories and my internet is acting a fool. I don't know what the hell's wrong with my computer. I'm guessing it is my computer or whatever, my laptop. Y'all are awesome for sharing this. This is really starting to. This is really starting to piss me off. I don't know. Maybe I should just break down and try Streamlabs again, even though I can't figure that thing out to save my life. I mean, the only way I got this to work in the first place was because OBS has a thing called Auto Configuration Wizard. So far, so good. I don't know. I think it's either YouTube or OBS having an off day because I don't know. But we're gonna. I mean, I hope there was no technical difficulties when I was reading this story. But I guess we can. All we can do now is just go to our next story. I'm gonna try. Okay. Yeah, I don't want it. Alrighty, so it's not buffering anymore. That's good. I don't want to do on television. Hey, Weekly, what's up? If the internet is bad, the it might be causing the lag issue. Well, the truth is, I don't know how to configure it on my own and everything. Mainly because I'm a dum dum when it comes to these things. But yeah, it looks like everything's going good. But let's cross our fingers. Let's read a story that some of you may not heard of, or I may not heard of. Man, I got so many stories bookmarked. It's not even funny. Some of them from Creepypasta Wikia to all the way to No Sleep, but I'm not going to test the No Sleeps until I get permission. Let's see how this story is. Let's see how long this story is. Oh, this is a doozy right here. This is a long one. Stream latency. I don't know, honestly. I'm practically the only one here that works my own thing. I don't know. I mean, I haven't had this much of a problem last night because there was no buffering. I don't know. I don't know. Do you think I should try again next week? Because this is gonna give me a fucking headache, and I don't know. Let's just keep on trucking and see where it goes. But for right now, let's continue with our next story. Hopefully not our last. Now, I don't know who the author of this story is. Goes by the name Matthew Varney. Hang on, I'm going to do some research on this one, because I can't be too sure. I mean, it does say, it does say it's under Creative Commons, but I'm not seeing anything where it's being posted on No Sleep. Because this looks like a one. See the one, two, three-parter. But you know what? I'm going to keep going because I love you all and I love entertaining my fans. But like I said, this story is written by some guy named Matthew Varney. This story is called The Brooding Star. And we're going to start with part one. Who is he? My son inquired, pointing out to the tall figure drawn upon the dusty, nearby crumbling page. As a reproduction of a reproduction of a reproduction of a reproduction, the history book could have easily been mistaken for the mad scribblings of troglodytes. I know the name, but why didn't I just pronounce it correctly? Anyways, I guess I never seen it spelt out before. Anyways, the history book could have easily been mistaken for the mad scribblings of troglodytes in their fire-lit caves. A great leader, I replied. A few remember his name anymore. Washington. I believe it was, though it's quite likely I've been told, I believe it was, though it's quite likely I've been told many a falsehood by the ones who call themselves historians. I chuckled ruefully, as did my son. Tell me what a leader is, he said. Where I came from, it was not unusual for children to be demandingly curious. From what I've heard, leaders were people who created order out of chaos, I told him. Many had great visions for what the world could be like, or in Washington's case, what his country could be like. No doubt he's rolling in his grave now that everything he worked hard to instate has fallen to ruin. By now my son had put the book aside and was peering out the red tinted window wistfully, his chin resting on his arm, which were in turn resting on the steel windowsill. And he said to me in a serious tone, I want to be leader. It broke my heart to hear that, and that he developed an unattainable dream. A dream I would have to shoot down before long. Such was the treatment all dreams were met with those times. Christine Baker, what's up? Welcome. I'm gonna read again. It broke my heart to hear that he had developed an unattainable dream, a dream I would have to shoot down before long. Such was the treatment all dreams were met with in those times. But the sadness I felt then seemed silly to me, now that I wondered in vain what has become of his poor soul. He could be anywhere or nowhere, and it's likely I'll never know. By all that is holy, I only hope he's in a better place than I am now. According to the historians, there was a clear-cut and seemingly unbreakable force called natural law, governing my native planet in ancient times. A set of rules you could follow carefully in order to predict the behavior of things and get where you wanted to be. Of course, there was nothing of that sort to stabilize the era I grew up in. Life was a sick game of chance for us all. A game I wouldn't hesitate to call hellish, if not for the fact that I am now intimately familiar with the word's true meaning. I decided long ago that the only way to end the game would to be rid the cosmos of the Earth's Earth entirely. Just as just as one might exercise a, a malignant growth from an otherwise healthy individual. If there was no if there was no hope for us on the little white planet, we might we might as well bring something we might as well bring some balance to the universe and cease to exist. I figured this idea came to me in the most peculiar manner, worming its way into my consciousness as though it were the Fae whispering, if we're fuck, as though it were the Fae whisper of a shadowy muse. I hadn't the foggiest clue how said idea could be carried out, but I searched for one whenever opportunity nights presented themselves, whenever the sun ceased to its ra- scatter its radiation, never knowing what I'd find, if anything. Each night lasted only as long as the Earth's yeah, that's not it. Lily, what did you do? Must have did something. Anyways, where was I? I hadn't the foggiest clue how said idea could be carried out, but I searched for one whenever opportunity nights presented themselves, whenever the sun ceased to scatter its radiation, never knowing what I might find, if anything. Each night lasted only as long as the Earth's prolonged rotation velocity will allow. Hang on a second. Okay. Sorry about that. I removed my son's evening ration from the icebox and served it to him on a sheet of cardboard, not telling him where the meat came from, so he wouldn't be deterred from getting his nourishment. Unbeknownst to him, wild game of the sort found an olden tail had long since gone extinct, leaving only the frozen emaciated corpse of our own kind to dine on when they turn up now and again. Much of my own childhood was spent consuming the wholesome reserves of beans and rice stockpiled in the bowels of our bunker. But upon parenthood, it became clear to me that my childhood would not be so fortunate. I'd be lying if I didn't regret bringing him into that broken world many a time. Subsistence was growing scarcer by the day, So I for so I forwent so I forwent my share that eve. Not that raw human heart sounded very appetizing, even in my desperate state. I would have roast I would have roasted my son's ration for him if physics were cooperating that day. But alas, every attempt at striking a match, let alone igniting a bundle. Don't worry. Okay, so there was a slight boo boo. That's okay, it could be fixed. Give me a minute. But yeah, it appears that there was an accident when somebody was that one of my mods had hit somebody by accident. But I'm not gonna scold her too much because she did fall asleep on her phone, and it's an easy fix. If Midnight is, I don't know if Midnight is still listening or whatever, but I'm gonna do you a solid and fix everything for you. What the fuck? Hang on. I might have to do it from another window. If y'all could still hear me, let me know. I'm very glad that just came in, and I'm very happy with them. Thank you, Christine, once again. I don't know if I got you tagged on Discord. I mean, not Discord, Instagram correctly, but okay. Let's see here. Go to my settings. I think it's community. There you are. Hope to God that I hope to God that didn't remove her subscription. If not, she may have to resubscribe subscribe to me again. Left Hand Puppetry, what's up? Are you allowed to spam ghosts? Just don't go nuts. Yeah, Brooding Star is gonna take too long. Let's try again. Because it's astounding. Time is fleeting. I'm gonna try some of these stories. Ooh, Jeff the Killer 2015. Well, I'm definitely gonna ask Mr. K. Banning for permission for that one. But I also want to ask permission for a story of mine. Story of is that I like from him. Ooh, I know one story that we can narrate. This was actually one of my favorites. Here we go. This story is called Alice in Hell by A.I. Green. This is a story of Kelly Tristan, a 23-year-old woman who lived alone in a small house at 2605 Pine Road in a small town of Fairview, Oregon. Her disappearance had gone largely unnoticed until nearby residents started to go missing without a trace. When the police went to investigate the area, at all the homes of the missing people were completely empty, as if no one had lived in them for quite a long time. Here's what happened. Sunday, October Sunday, October 31st, 2004. It was Halloween, Kelly's favorite time of the year. She thought it would be a good idea to decorate her front door with some cheap decorations and let the kids know she was handing out candy. At 12:35 p.m., she drove to the local dollar store to buy Halloween candy and decorations. While browsing, she found a shelf full of old old VHS tapes. As she looked through them, her eyes fell upon an old copy of Disney's 1951 classic, Alice in Wonderland. Wow, I haven't seen this movie in a long time, she said to herself excitedly. Kelly decided to purchase it along with her candy and decorations. When she came back, it was still too early for trick-or-treaters to be out, so she took some time to prepare her front door. She continued decorating and filled a large pumpkin-shaped bowl with candy. By the time she was finished, it was nearly 4 p.m. She checked if there was any more decorations to put up. When she looked inside the plastic bag from the dollar store, she saw the Alice in Wonderland VHS sitting all by itself. Oh, I forgot about this. Maybe I could watch it before trick-or-treaters arrive. Kelly had a VHS DVD player in her living room, so she opened the box to watch the movie. Something was strange about that tape. The movie's logo was on the front, but it was as if someone had tried to scratch it off with a knife. Kelly figured it must have been a used copy. As she took the movie out of the box, she noticed a strip of masking tape at the back of the video cassette with the words "Play Me" written very poorly, as if a child had written it. That's weird. Maybe somebody was trying to be cute at the dollar store, she reassured herself. She closed the curtains, turned on the television, and turned the lights off, and put the tape into the VCR. Kelly was shrouded in darkness, perfect for watching a movie. As the opening title cards were playing, Kelly laid herself down on the couch and was excited to be watching one of her favorite movies from her childhood. The movie started normally with nothing out of the ordinary. The picture was a little faded, but it was tolerable for a used copy. For about 10 minutes, the movie played just fine. When it got to the scene showing Alice inside the bottle she drank from, strips of static started appearing on the screen. What is going on? Kelly stated. Kelly started getting frustrated. Please don't crap out on me. Suddenly, the entire screen went to static, and the movie was gone. Oh, come on! Kelly became angry and got to see what was wrong with the tape. As she headed over to the television, the picture came back on. Only this time, it was not Alice in Wonderland. It was an old home movie. Kelly was upset but decided not to fast forward the tape. She was curious to see what the previous owner could possibly have recorded over the movie. The picture quality was not very good. The footage looked like it came from a 1970s home movie camera. The video was of a small group of children gathered around the table, with the little girl sitting at the end of it. She had long auburn hair, and she wore a dress similar to what Alice wore. They were all singing happy birthday to her, and someone, most likely her mother, brought a cake out with lit candles, and it sat in front of the girl. As she blew out the candles, everyone started cheering. Kelly thought it would be strange for someone to record this girl's birthday over the movie, but she kept watching to see what would happen next. As she made her way to the couch, the videotape jumped to the children chasing each other in a game of tag in a large field. After about 2 minutes of tag, the video suddenly cut to static, and it made Kelly's heart jump a beat. She laughed it off and continued watching the movie. After a few seconds, Alice in Wonderland was playing again. It started as Alice left Tweedledum and Tweedledee in the woods. For a few minutes, nothing happened to the movie. When Alice met the talking flowers and listened to them sing, the video cut to static again. As the picture became apparent, it showed the same children from earlier playing Ring Around the Rosie, with the birthday girl in the middle of them. They were in the same field that they were playing tag in moments before. The camera filming it all was at a high angle, possibly from a two-story window. Unlike the previous video segment, this one had no sound. The children were constantly spinning around the little girl, holding their hands together in a giant ring. After about a minute of silence, Kelly could barely hear the children's voices whispering simultaneously. This is what she heard. Ring around, dear Alice. Her heart is filled with malice. Alice, Alice, she soon shall die. Kelly was disturbed by the horrific rhyme. The video suddenly cut with loud static. Kelly gasped and held her hand to her chest. She thought it would be wise to stop watching the movie, but she felt that she had to know what was on the rest of the tape. As the movie came back on the scene where Alice meets the blue caterpillar, Kelly sat herself up and continued watching. The video continued playing normally until it got to the Mad Tea Party. Before the Mad Hatter and March Hare could sing a very merry unbirthday, the video jumped to static again. Kelly felt a lump forming in her throat. There was sound this time, but the image was distorted and hard to distinguish. Kelly could hear the little girl's voice. Mommy, I'm not lying. There's a monster in my bed, in my room. I can't sleep because it watches me at night. Please, you have to believe me. She seemed very upset, almost to the point of tears. I am sick of hearing this, her mother said angrily. You are 8 years old. There is no such thing as monsters. You should know better. But Mommy, that's it. I've had enough, her mother screamed at the top of her lungs. Kelly could hear the girl sobbing softly as the mother stomped her feet. Suddenly, the picture shook violently and became clear. The video was of the little girl sitting in a chair, staring at the floor. Tears had been rolling down her face and looked as if she had been beaten. Bruises covered her arm and face. Mommy, what are you doing? At this time, the girl looked very worried, dreading what her mother was about to do. In a few moments, her mother walked towards her, her head cut off by the edge of the screen. In her hand was a small knife. Kelly's heart pounded in her chest, but she couldn't take her eyes off the screen. The girl's mother took the knife in one hand, grabbed the girl's cheeks, and forced her to stick out her tongue. I'm going to scrape those lies off your tongue, With that, she placed the sharp edge of the knife into the girl's mouth and quickly scraped it across her tongue. The girl screamed. The girl screamed in agonizing pain. Kelly, Kelly could see shivers of blood, a bloody tongue fall onto the floor. Suddenly, she suddenly felt nauseous. She got up and ran to the kitchen sink and vomited it. As Kelly washed out her mouth, the video went to a piercing static, making her scream. She slowly crept back onto the couch. Her eyes kept glued on the screen. The movie came back to Alice walking away from the tea party, disgruntled with the Mad Hatter and March Hare. However bad the video segments were, Kelly felt she had to find out who was filming these terrible things happening to this little girl. The movie got to the scene with Alice getting lost in the toge wood. Again, the screen filled with static. It only lasted a few seconds before cutting to a video of the little girl sitting on the front edge of the bed. Crying into her hands. The room she was in was very dark. Everything behind her was cast in shadows. For nearly 3 minutes, she just sat there, crying. Not once did she look up. Every few seconds she would stop and say, "Nobody loves me." After a while, a door opened off camera, letting a dim light enter the room. Slowly, a shadowed figure entered the room and floated towards the girl. She looked at the figure and her eyes shot wide. She began to plead. She began to plead. "No, please." Her cries were abruptly severed by deafening static. Kelly screamed out loud and covered her eyes. After the static died down, she gained the courage to open her eyes. The movie came back with Alice going to the Queen of Hearts courtyard. All the bright colors and silly moments of the film could not stir Kelly out of her deep-seated fear. Kelly began to gain hope that the hellish video segments were over and she could watch the rest of the movie in peace. As the trial scene approached, the picture gradually faded static. Kelly's heart dropped and she started sobbing. This time, the static lasted over 2 minutes. Kelly's heart raced in anticipation of the upcoming video. When the static disappeared, there was nothing. The living room was filled with a deafening silence. Kelly became short of breath and started hyperventilating. For several seconds, there was complete silence. Kelly thought the video stopped itself, but the tracker on the VCR said the tape was still playing. After a short while, Kelly could hear something. It sounded like children whispering. I'm losing my sight. Losing my mind. Okay. She could not make out what they She could not make out what they were saying. Kelly panicked when she noticed a dark picture slowly developing on the screen. The only thing on the screen was a still image. It was a photo of the little girl sitting on the edge of the bed again, secluded in darkness. This time, she was not crying. She was staring straight at Kelly through the screen. Her eyes were bloodshot from so much crying. The look on her face was pure horror. Her eyes shouting, "Help me." The only light in the girl's bedroom seemed to be coming from the glow of Kelly's television. The image was so clear that they could have easily been sitting in the same room. Kelly could hear the little girl crying again. However, she was still glaring at her through the screen, not moving an inch. As Kelly looked past the girl's shoulders, she made out what appeared to be a faint set of crooked teeth fixed with a smile. The teeth appeared to be human, but were elongated and stretched out too wide to be from an actual person's mouth. Voices joined like a maddening chorus. Voices of all kind could be heard whispering, "Off with her head." Over the next minute, the little girl's crying, and the voices grew louder and more hysterical. Kelly had to cover her ears. Suddenly, everything felt silent. Her heart pounding as she uncovered her ears. One final deep voice said menacingly, "Off with her head." Static flashed over the image of a fraction for a second. The picture began to move. The little girl's head slowly fell forward as she was going to cry again. It drooped lower and lower until it rolled right off her shoulder and onto the floor. The instant her head fell off, her blood-curdling screams filled the room as Kelly covered her ears in terror. She screamed as loud as she could until the video cut to static one last time and the ending credits of the movie started rolling. Kelly could not speak. She was traumatized as she stared at the blank screen. By this time it was 5:15 p.m. As Kelly slowly started to get up, she kept her eyes on the screen to make sure nothing else was going to show up on it. Her concentration was broken by the sound of her doorbell ringing. She screamed and shot her head around to see the front door. "Just breathe, Kelly. You are all right. Everything is okay." Calm down, Kelly. You're just okay. Just breathe, Kelly. You're alright. Everything's okay. Just relax. Kelly collected herself, turned on the lights, then headed to the door. It's just an early trick-or-treater. Before opening the door, something told her to look through the peephole first. When she did, what she saw froze her. On her doorstep was a little girl with her head down. She was wearing an Alice dress. Calm down, Kelly. You're just a little freaked out from the movie. It's only a kid in an Alice costume. She grabbed the candy bowl and opened her front door. When she got ready to hand out the candy, she dropped the candy bowl in horror. The little girl vanished. The little girl vanished. Kelly trembled terribly as she picked up the candy bowl, put it all back into the bowl. As she picked up the candy, put it all back in the bowl, and slammed the door behind her. You have to relax. You're just seeing things. When she put the bowl back down on the kitchen table, the television cut to a loud static. Kelly screamed and turned towards the living room. Tears rolled down her face. Written on the wall above the television in blood were the words, "Off with your head." Kelly frantically tried to get out of the front door. The door was locked. Suddenly she could hear something clawing at the door, violently like a bear. She looked through the peephole again. She saw nothing but black. As if a fuse broke. All the lights in her house went out at once. She was submerged in total darkness. She could see absolutely nothing except at the end of a narrow hallway, there was something near her bedroom door. It was a faint set of gnarled teeth, fixed in a smile. Kelly was paralyzed with fear. Who's there? The smile slowly floated towards Kelly. She tried to run away, but found herself unable to move. In a moment, the shadow monster was right in her face. She could smell the horrible stench of rotting flesh on its breath. It whispered to her, "Off with your head." Later that same night, a girl by the name of Abby Lawrence had just finished trick-or-treating in a fairy costume. She was 10, and her mother let her go by herself with her friends for the first time. She and her mother lived around the block, lived about a block away from Kelly. When she returned home, her mother gave her a big hug and helped her get ready for bed. Did you have fun trick-or-treating with your friends, Abby? Yeah, my bag is full of candy. It will probably last me until next Halloween, Abby said. Well, I'm glad you had fun, sweetheart. Hey, Mommy, you've got to see this. Abby ran to her bag of Halloween candy and pulled out a copy of Disney's Alice in Wonderland on VHS. Where did you get that? Her mother asked. One of the houses I went to had it in a candy bowl. The bowl was empty, but this movie was in it. She could barely control her excitement. Can we watch it tonight? Pretty please? And that was Alice in Hell. Alright, let's take a look at the chat. Alright, let's see. Hero Excuse says, FYI, you're doing great. The stream is going strong now. I hope it would be going strong. Kid Bina and Boston Actress, what's up? I hope you're all having a good time. Happy Halloween to all of you. Sorta. Aw, she left already. Okay, good night, Boston Actress, if you hear this. But yeah, talk about a very brutal haunted taping. For a moment, I thought it was going to be like after the tape was over, I threw it away and I never saw it again, or some shit like that. But I thought it was pretty interesting, so I hope it was pretty interesting for all of you. I hope you all are I hope all of you had a good time tonight. Made it to 2 hours and made it to 2 hours already, but Horror Goddess, what's up? Thanks, Hero. I'm glad I was able to. Oh, thank you, Lady Spicaria. By the way, I didn't say this, but what's up? Well, let's see what's going on Twitter. And Lady Spicaria retweeted Hero Skews. Just want to give a shout out to everybody who made it to Lupus's VJ. Oh, fuck, that was today? Oh, man, I am truly a flake. I am so sorry if you're hearing this, my dude. God damn, with the amount of shit going on in my IRL house and trying to keep up with everybody's shit, fuck. I really feel like the asshole. Oh, no. Oh, no. Horror Gods was in a costume contest. Well, I hope you won. I really do. You can do it. Aw. Well, thank you, Ladies Picaria. I hope you don't mind my botchy narration skills. Yeah, that's right. If anybody wants to know how I got my narrating voice, yeah, I had it. So, you can sue me if you want. Well, thank you, Hero. Yeah, from the amount of shitty connections and worrying that this shit was gonna buffer while I was narrating, I had I was afraid that I might have to shut the whole thing down early. But I'm glad y'all came out. But I really feel bad for not showing up to Luce's Halloween party. Especially since I don't know how to work VR chat or how to download the damn thing. Well, thank you all so much, man. I appreciate the love and support and saying that I quit self-doubting myself. I mean, I do that a lot. I mean, I know somebody said that we are our own worst critics. I don't remember who, but sometimes you just need to tell yourself, critic, hey, shut the fuck up. I know Mia is listening is like, oh, well, I've been telling you the same thing. Da, 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 da. Yes, I know. But sometimes crippling depression can also take its toll. Shut up. God, I'm looking at my background cards and I'm thinking, there's got to be a better one. Heroes says exactly. Don't listen to that side of your mind. Remember that you are always in control. And it's kind of funny. I'm like 36 years old and I'm taking advice from youngins. I thought it was the elders that gives the advice, but yeah. I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks. Speaking of dogs. Yeah, the doggies are tuckered out for the night. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to be packing it in myself. But what do y'all say? One more? Yeah, I think we can do one more for the road. What do you think? Uh, 12 likes and not one dislike. I must be doing. Oh, okay, Damien. Don't jinx it. Yeah, I got one. Yeah, we can narrate one more. Then y'all need to get your stinking asses on the bed. Ya hear? Yeah, I don't know why the hell I sounded like a Method Man for a little bit. Shut your stinking ass. should have probably gotten a shower. Okay, well, here's a story I might cover one of these days when I reach my 100 story video. Well, after I hit my 100 story video. And of course, this is also a classic creepypasta. Which may take a lot of voice acting or bringing in more people in, but we'll try. This story is called The Disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. Sometime during the night of August 16th, 1952, the small town of Ashley, Kansas ceased to exist. At 3:28 a.m. on August 17th, 1952, a magnitude 7.9 earthquake was measured by the United States Geology Survey. The earthquake itself was felt throughout the state and most of the Midwest. The epicenter was determined to be directly under Ashley, Kansas. When state law enforcement arrived at what should have been the outskirts of the farming community, they found a smoldering, burning fissure in the earth, measuring 1,000 yards in length and approximately 500 yards in width. The depth of the fissure was never determined. After 12 days, the statewide and local search for the missing 679 residents of Ashley, Kansas, was called off by the Kansas state government at 9:15 p.m. on the night of August 29th, 1952. All 679 residents were assumed to be dead. At 2:27 a.m. on August 30th, 1952, a magnitude 7.5 earthquake was measured by the United States Geology Survey. The epicenter was situated under what used to be the location of Ashley, Kansas. When law enforcement investigated at 5:32 a.m., they reported that the fissure in the earth had closed. On the 8th day, leading up to the disappearance of the town and its 679 residents, bizarre and unexplainable events were reported by dozens of residents in Ashley, Kansas. The law enforcement from the surrounding areas. On the evening of August 8th, 1952. The hell? A resident by the name of Gabriel Jonathan reported a strange sight in the sky above Ashley. The town itself, having no official branch of law enforcement, called into the police station of the neighboring town of Hayes. Gabriel reported what appeared to be a small black opening in the sky. Within the next 15 minutes, the Hayes police station became overwhelmed with dozens of phone calls, all reporting the same phenomenon. The phenomenon was never reported by any neighboring communities. The decision was made to send off a trooper to Ashley to investigate the matter the following morning. At 7:59 a.m. on the morning of August 9th, 1952, Hayes police officer Alan Mace radioed the Hayes police station. He reported that, despite following the one-way road leading into Ashley, he had become lost. According to his report, the road continued along its normal path, but somehow ended back in Hayes. Officer Mace went on to add that the road never curved or bent in any direction. At 9:15 a.m., seven of the town's 10 police cars were sent to investigate the situation, and all members of the team came to the same conclusion. The only road leading into Ashley stopped leading into Ashley, but instead led back to Hayes. Phone calls continued to pour out into the Hayes police station, all reporting that the same black opening in the sky continued to grow in size. All callers were advised to remain inside and to not travel outside unless absolutely necessary. At 8:17 p.m., Mrs. Elaine Cantor reported her neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Milton, and their two children, Jeffrey and Brooke, missing. According to Mrs. Cantor's phone call, the Miltons attempted to leave town in their family car earlier in the evening. They never returned. Law enforcement officials from Hayes never reported the car or individuals coming up the one-way road. At 7:38 a.m. on the morning of August 10th, 1952, phone calls from Ashley into the Hayes police station reported that the town was in total darkness. The sun had never risen. At 10:15 a.m., at the request of Hayes law enforcement, a helicopter from Topeka, Kansas, flew over the region which Ashley, Kansas stood. The town was never observed from air. At 12:43 p.m. on the afternoon of August 11th, 1952, Miss Phoebe Mrs. Phoebe Danielewski called into the Hayes police station. She reported that her daughter Erica had begun to have conversations with her father, who died 3 years prior in a drunk driving accident. To add to her concern, Mrs. Danielewski reported that Erica was attempting to go outside into the dark to join them. Over the course of the next 12 hours, reported over 329 phone calls were placed into the Hayes police station, all describing similar phenomenon with the children of the town. The following morning of August 12, 1952, the situation became dire. During the middle of the night, all 217 children in the town of Ashley, Kansas disappeared. A reported 421 calls were placed into the Hayes Police Department, unable to be any useful assistance. Hayes law enforcement instructed all callers to remain inside to avoid any and all attempts to finding the missing children. At 5:19 p.m. on the evening of August 13, 1952, Ashley elderly man Scott Lutz reported a growing, distant fire to the south. According to his description, the fire seemed to turn to the distant black into the bright red and orange that seemed to extend into the sky. Throughout the rest of the day, calls continued in. is stating that the fire, in addition to moving north, now seemed to come out of the black sky. No fire was ever witnessed by any of the neighboring communities or law enforcement officials. The reports continued until 12:09 a.m. on the morning of August 14th, 1952. The last phone call placed by a Mr. Benjamin Edicott reported that the fire in the sky had grown intense, that it began to appear as daylight. It's starting to hurt. As daylight over the town, the phone call ended abruptly. From the phone call placed by Benjamin Sherman Edicott. I just told... Wait. Yeah, I see something. It's to the south. It looks like... End phone call. The next phone call wouldn't be placed until the following evening. The following is an entire transcript of the following phone call to be received by the Hayes Police Department out of the town of Ashley, Kansas. It was placed at 9:46 p.m. on the evening of August 15th, 1952. In this recorded phone call, an officer on duty is Officer Pete Welsh. The caller has been identified as Miss April Foster. Began phone call. Officer Welch. Hayes, the police department. Muffled static. Officer Welch. Hello? Foster.
Yes. Yes, hello?
Officer Welch. Ma'am, who am I speaking with? Foster.
My name is April. April Foster. Please, sir. Please help me.
Officer Welch. What is happening, ma'am? Foster.
Last night they came back.
Officer Welch. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to... Foster.
Last night they came back.
Officer Welch. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to calm down and speak clearly. What happened? Who came back? Foster.
Everyone.
Officer Welch. Everyone? Foster.
They all came in the fire.
Officer Welch. What do you mean, everyone? Foster.
My son. I saw my son last night. He was walking down the street. He was burned. Jesus Christ, he was burned.
Officer Welch. Ma'am, Foster.
He died last year. I raised him since he was a baby. It was just me and him. I told him to watch for cars when he rode his bike, but he never wanted to listen.
Officer Welch. Ma'am, what you're saying isn't making any sense. You said everyone came back? Foster.
Are you fucking listening to me? Everyone came back. Everyone who died or who went missing, they're back. I'm okay now. See, I can walk again. Where are you, Mommy? I want to see you.
Officer Welch. Ma'am, where are you now? Are you safe? Foster.
I'm hiding, just like everyone else. We saw them coming through the fields, and some people opened the doors to them for the... God, the screaming. I don't know what happened to them, but their houses caught fire and they caved in. I have my curtains drawn. I'm hiding in the closet right now, and
Officer Welch. Ma'am, is everything all right? Are you okay? Foster. Silence. Officer Welch. Ma'am. Foster. Glass breaking in the background.
oh my God!
Officer Welch. Madam. Ma'am. Foster.
Something just came in.
Officer Welch. Ma'am, stay as quiet as you can. Don't make a sound. Foster. Muffled.
Mommy?
Mommy? Mommy?
He came inside.
Officer Welch. Stay absolutely still. Don't leave. Foster. Sounds of muffled footsteps. Mommy? Mommy? Why are you hiding? Officer Welch. Stay quiet. Foster. Sounds of heavy footsteps. Laughter. I found you, Mommy! Indescribable screaming and noise. Officer Welch. Ma'am? Ma'am! End phone call. The following morning, at 6:55 a.m., the law enforcement officers of the Hays Police Department arrived at the location of Ashley, Kansas. The smoldering, burning fissure in the earth was all that remained. Yeah, that was a pretty good cry effect. When it comes to reading a story, it's all in the voice acting when it comes to my characters. Playing my characters, I mean. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for tonight. I think maybe next time I'm gonna try. I think next time I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe uninstall OBS and try for Streamlabs. Thank you, Hero. I'm glad you enjoyed it, but yeah, man. And I hope the party was good, dude. I really do. I just feel really bad that I missed it. Thank you. Thank you. If it wasn't for the support of all of you, I would have just gave up and just threw away my computer or something. But that would mean I have to save up for another one. And I don't have the money for that. I barely have enough money to buy myself groceries, but what can you do? But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for a while, for a little while until all the bugs are worked out. Yeah, yeah. Either you or Weekly or anybody hit me up and we'll set up a hangout sometime. That'd be awesome. And what do you know? It's 129 again. I only say that again because it is daylight savings, so we get an extra hour. Woot woot! But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me. I'm getting tired. And I would like to thank everybody for coming out despite the technical difficulties. You are all awesome, and I want to thank you all. And let me go ahead and put the end stream card up. Ooh, that's a little loud. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to end with the usual spiel. Don't forget to like, leave a comment, share this stream with everybody you know, subscribe if you hadn't, and hit that bell, and enjoy! And if you ever want to check me out on what I do behind the scenes, check me out on my social media shits. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, although I need to update my social media shits. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and post my link tree up in the description down below. This is gonna take a while. And the music you're hearing right now is by Subject Illuminant. If you haven't heard of him by now, please check out his stuff. He makes great music. And don't forget to check out my merch store at Teespring. And if you want to help support the channel, make sure you give me a minute. My God, channel is difficult than I thought. But yeah. But yeah, check out my links. Twitter, Instagram, blah 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 blah. Buy the t-shirts at Teespring. If you want at this channel to take a step further up in quality, you can always consider donating to my PayPal, or becoming a Patreon, or becoming a recruit in my Patreon. So with that said, I'd like to thank everybody coming out here. I hope you all had a great Halloween, despite it being 2020. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask if you need to go back out again. We'll see you next time in the next video or in the next live stream. And remember, I'll be watching all of you in the shadows. Good night.